Welcome to my channel. I'm no ordinary biologist, and today I'm going to make 10 assumptions about my PhD before I start in October. Will I be accurate? Who knows? I feel like I have quite a lot of knowledge on PhDs even though I've not started one yet, but we'll see. For those that don't know, I am starting my PhD at the University of Liverpool this October. I'm going to be looking at how climate change impacts intertidal species, in short. It's a bit longer than that, obviously. If you're new to this channel, obviously this is one of my first videos anyway, so you're probably new. I make quite a lot of content on Instagram, but one of my goals for this year is to start creating some content for YouTube. I plan to document all of my PhD journey from the application process, which I've just finished going through, to the finish line where I become a doctor and finally, hopefully, graduate. My goal is to help other students that potentially might feel a bit lost, because academia is a minefield, as we all know. Especially first generation students like myself. Students? Oh my god. I just laugh at myself constantly because I don't actually know what the fuck I'm doing. Especially first generation students like myself who might feel like they're totally lost and don't know where to turn, might think that they want a career in academia but not really sure how to start or who to turn to. I'm hoping I can provide some help, some advice to hopefully get you on the right path. So if you'd like to follow this 4-year-long journey of pain, self-hatred and torture, please subscribe. Okay, the purpose of this video, I wanted to make some initial assumptions about my PhD because I thought it'd be interesting to kind of compare what I think a PhD is going to be like to what it actually is going to be like. So hopefully like in a year or two, I'm gonna react to this and we'll see how they compare. And from talking to a lot of postgraduates, postdocs, other researchers, I can tell you that a PhD experience can vary a lot depending on so many different factors. I have this vision of what my PhD is going to look like, but obviously things don't usually go to plan. So shall we jump in? Assumption number 1 is that it's going to be a massive mental challenge. I think this one is pretty, standard. We all know a PhD is the top qualification that anyone can get. It's a qualification that you specialise in a certain topical area, so you essentially become an expert in your field in that area throughout your PhD. There's going to be so much reading, so much learning. Also, it's very easy to get all consumed within a PhD. It's going to be taxing on your brain. There's no doubt about it. I'm pretty sure this is the most confident assumption that I have on this list. Number 2, I'm going to have to work overtime. Now, this is an assumption that I tread carefully on because I don't want to work overtime. I want to be able to stick to those standard 9 to 5, 9 to 6 hours and have this great separation between my work and my, work-life balance. However, my assumptions do not match my aims. So obviously my aim is to have that balance, but my assumption is that I'm definitely not going to have it. This could be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and because I think that I'm not going to have it, I won't. But being realistic, I think I will have to work some overtime, and I know that, especially leading up to deadlines, a lot of PhD students do work overtime and do work on weekends. Across the whole of my PhD, I really don't want to do that. I want to be as consistent as possible and protect kind of like my well-being. So we'll see if that happens or not. Number 3, my family are not going to have a clue what I do. This has been true since the start of my degree, to be honest. Like I said previously, I am a first-gen student. My parents, they are amazing by the way, but they never got the opportunity to kind of go through the same career path that I did. My parents never went through GCSEs, never went through A-levels, never went through uni. So I try, even now, I don't have a developed project, I just have a title. And I say the title and my family just like, just turn off, they turn off. They're not gonna have a freaking clue what's going on. And that's fine. It is such high level work, and obviously you are gonna be the one that's turning into that expert, so don't expect family members to know what you're doing, because they're not gonna. Unless they're in your field, which is highly unlikely. Number 4, I am not gonna make that much money during my PhD. My PhD is funded, it's part of the ACE doctoral training programme, and is funded by NERC, which is the Natural Environment Research Council. So that means I do get a salary or a stipend of this year I think it's £15,600, that's UK, plus kind of like extra research money, extra maintenance money in terms of like conferences, travelling, blah blah. So I do have funding. Obviously if you compare that to a graduate job, it's nowhere near as much. And that's okay because at the end of the day, it is a qualification. I'm very proud and grateful to be able to have a funded PhD because a lot of students in other areas, such as humanities, don't actually get that funding. However, it's not a massive amount of money, and I might be doing some little bit of extra work, like a bit of tutoring, lab demonstration, hopefully potentially some, you know, YouTube, or if you like and subscribe. I might get a little bit more disposable income than just that stipend, but we'll see, I don't know. Number 5, it's going to be a very rewarding experience and I'm going to learn a lot of new skills. I also think this is pretty much a given. I love academia, I love learning, I'm so passionate about research, and I think this whole journey, this whole 4-year journey is going to be so rewarding to me. And not just academic skills, but throughout a PhD you learn so many other soft skills that you can translate into industry, into different, you know, sectors that could potentially be outside of academia as well. Number 6, I'm going to have to take extra care of my mental well-being. Yes, I think this is going to be true. This stereotype around PhD students that we are overworked and, you know, we struggle with mental health, and to an extent that's true, but I think trying to get past that stereotype is super important for, you know, incoming PhD students to understand that it's okay to prioritise your health, especially your mental health, during this very taxing and challenging period of your life. So I'm going to make a very conscious effort to protect my mental health, and hopefully that translates into my work, because I'll be obviously less stressed, less anxious. I can focus more deeply into my work rather than crying in a hole. Number 7, I'm going to be making a lot of connections and I'm going to be networking a lot. And I think this is so critical during this period, that you do network and you do make connections, because these people that you're working with can potentially, you know, have such a massive impact on your future career. I love socialising with people in a professional and a social setting. I'm definitely going to be talking to a lot of academics, postdocs, PhD students, lecturers, professors, even undergraduate students. Number 8, I'm going to fuck up in the lab at some point. This is also a given. This is going to happen. I don't think anyone has walked into a lab and done an experiment perfectly the first time. It's just not, it's not a thing. For me especially, because I've had more field experience and data experience rather than working in a lab. I have done some lab work, but I've not spent huge amounts of hours in the lab. The lab is going to be a learning curve for me, and I know I'm going to be making some silly mistakes. And that's okay, because you're allowed to mess up. It's a qualification at the end of the day. It's a learning experience. Remember that. Number 9. I'm going to fall fully clothed into the ocean during field work. It's a given, it's gonna happen, I know it. What I'm gonna be doing is working along rocky shores. Rocky shores are slippy, they're hard to walk on, you're next to the ocean, it's gonna happen. Number 10, final assumption, is that I'm going to feel imposter syndrome at some point during my PhD. This is another one of those self-fulfilling prophecy concepts, because again, it's a stereotype that PhD students are going to feel this imposter syndrome. For those that don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's where you don't feel that you have achieved or deserved the position that you're currently in. It feels like you've kind of got there by fluke and everyone else around you is better or smarter. This is obviously going to happen when you're working at the top of your field, because it's very difficult to compare with people around you, especially other PhD students who are doing different topics and might be at different points in their journey than you. Again, it's a very similar thing. My aims and my assumptions obviously don't line up, because I am assuming that I'm going to feel it at some point. But it's how you deal with it and how you process it, and recognising when it's happening. Do you think my assumptions are correct? Incorrect? Let me know in the comments, because obviously I have an idea, but I don't actually know, so. And like I said before, hopefully I'll be reacting to this video in 6 months, a year time, to see if my experience matched my assumptions. I hope you like this video, and if you want more, you know what to do. I'll be hopefully posting regularly as we go through my PhD. My assumption is that I'll post regularly, but again, we'll see. I think that's it. If you found me on Instagram and come to YouTube, welcome. And if you found me on YouTube, you should you know, hop over to Instagram and give me a little follow as well. Handles here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!